Hey everybody, it's Roger. Welcome back to the first in, well, you wouldn't be coming back, would you? But this is the first in a possibly 26 or less part. Basically, I'm going to show off my Blu-rays, alright? Just this year I started looking around online, basically to find like unboxings and reviews of certain movies. And I've noticed that there's hundreds of people out there basically showing off their collections. And me being a movie collector for many years, I just decided to, hey, why not me? Why not join in? I'm doing some of these other videos. I'm trying to get my channel a little more activated as it has been in the past. Basically, I've been putting a lot of old films and theater performances and things like that out there, but with the collection I have, I figured, well, now it's time to actually talk about it and go through it, just like some of those other people on YouTube are doing. Hi guys, I watch you. Anyway, just a little history about me if you don't know. I've been a movie fan for years, since a little kid. I'll never forget one Christmas was the first time my dad, I wanted a movie projector. I wanted those little Super 8 movies that I would always see like in the Sears store by the photography area, and next to Viewmasters actually, because I was a big Viewmaster guy. I loved the 3D Viewmaster experience, and I would always see these little movies, and it's like, hey, Monster That Challenged the World, Son of Frankenstein. What are these? These are movies? How do you play them? And I learned. And this, boy, I'm rambling, and I got a long video to go. Anyway, in a nutshell, I got my first movie projector. My parents bought it for me, and my very first movie was Revenge of Frankenstein. It was the 10-minute, 12-minute, the 200 reel, I think it was 50, and then there was a 200, and then there's the 400, the big ones that I got into later. Anyway, for many years, I collected those Super 8 movies, 8mm movies. Then, of course, when VHS came out, then it was like 3 movies a disc, you know, the 6-hour speed before you realized what you were really doing and screwing up. But back then, movies weren't available, you know. It was just whenever it was on television, that was the only time you got to see it, or you went to the theater and saw a new movie. Anyway, so I've been through the whole gambit, VHS to DVD, actually to Laserdisc, and then to DVD, and now on to Blu-ray. And now we're moving into the 4K, which I'm not really interested in, because you really need something bigger than a 50, 60-inch television to even notice the difference of a 4K. So I'll pick up movies if they're remastered or mastered in 4K, but I'm not going to get a TV. Maybe if they come down and I need to buy a new TV, I will, but I'm not planning on getting anything bigger. But anyway, on with the show. Why don't we just start with movies? There's a lot of people out there that do show off movies, and they really get intricate about the movie and the story. Most of these, everybody has these movies. Most of you all know the movies or have heard of the movies and know the greatness, the classic, the badness. That's another thing. I love all movies, and now that I'm later in my life, I've been very forgiving with a lot of bad movies. I just want to be entertained, and I love being entertained, even with crappy comedies. Big Bang Theory I love, you know, and people pan that thing, but it's got a huge worldly following. But anyway, I'll get through, when I go through my movies here, I will slowly, you know, if it's something to talk about, I'll talk about. If not, we'll just move on to the next one, because my collection is pretty extensive, and I'm going by the letter of the alphabet, starting with A's today, and we'll see how it goes along. If I have less of one letter than another, I might do 2 or 3 letters together. But I just wanted to do start off with the A, and a little tasty beverage. Let's start out with the first movie. All my movies are in alphabetical order. That would work. That word. And the funny thing is, some people are, you know, they want all the comedies in one, all the horror in the other. I want to be able to walk up to my wall and go, I'm looking for this movie, there it is. You know, I don't want to have to go, what category is that in? Or the same with movies like that have numbers for the titles, like 127 Hours or 1941. 1941 will be in the ends, the beginning of the ends. 127 hours would be in the O for 100. That's how I organize my stuff. Same with Criterion's or Screen Factory or anything. It's all alphabeticalized. They're not together. So we're going to go start with the A's. First movie, most of you probably have this. My favorite Christmas Carol version. Oh, we got to work with glare. All right, glare, get out of the way. Christmas Story, Alistair Sim, my favorite take on the Christmas Carol story. It's a very, very good. I finally watched this last Christmas while I was alphabeticaling my collection, and this has a nice little card thing in here, and it's a 2-disc. I believe it's DVD. That's another thing I'm not going to go into. But here's the DVD, here's the thing. I'm just going to go rambling through these, but not as fast as some people I see online. Some people, they just show the shelf and they pull it out and go, here it is, here it is, here it is. No. See this cover? This is the version you want to get. This has some great extras and the quality is really good. All right, next A. Can't say much about this because it's been said so many times, but it's A Clockwork Orange. Love this movie. Saw this when I was a teenager back in the day. I actually went to the theater and saw it when it was playing at a second-run house where they were let young kids in. And love the movie, love the music. Kubrick, opened my eyes to Kubrick. I believe this was the first Kubrick movie I ever saw. And then probably following was Paths of Glory, which I did in film school and in film appreciation. We watched that in Annie Hall. Strange bill. But anyway, great movie. And I have the DVD of this still, and the one reason is because, if you can see, I got to Roger, very best, Malcolm McDowell. Yes, I didn't meet him, but I had a friend who worked on the movie The Company when he was here in Chicago. It was that ballet movie. I believe it was his last, not his last film, Robert Altman's last film, The Company, with Neve Campbell, I believe. Anyway, I had a friend who was on the set every day, and I gave him this. I says, please get Malcolm's autograph. I love it. So this will probably, I might put this in a frame somewhere and hang it up because I've been putting up my autographs. But anyway, that's a keeper. Clockwork Orange on Blu-ray is beautiful. One of the funny comedies. I loved Python growing up. Channel 11, it was Doctor Who, it was Dave Allen at Large, it was The Goodies, and there was Monty Python. And it was the first time you could see boobs on TV. Look at, there's boobs, and some swearing, and some odd English quirks, which are really quirks, that I learned as I watched it. But Channel 11 is where I watched, and then one of the movies that they did, not as Python, but A Fish Called Wanda. Hilarious movie. Just see it. It's great. Michael Palin. They're all great in here, but funny movie. Next we go to one of my favorite comedies of all time. A funny thing happened on the way to the Forum. Don't much like Sondheim. This is Stephen Sondheim, right? I don't care for his musicals that much, but this one, since I was a little kid, used to see this on television and loved Zero and everybody else, Jack Gilford and Phil Silvers, and there's so many people in this. This and The Great Race and Mad World, I added an extra M, are my favorite comedies, like, of all time. And anyway, this was good. I enjoyed the transfer. It's not perfect as far as I remember, but it's on Blu-ray. It's at 1080p, and it's funny for me. Next up, here's a movie that I was kind of shocked when I first saw it. I was intrigued by the storyline, the way it was going. The ending kind of goes off in another area that a lot of people don't like, but the first half, it introduces a storyline that really makes you wonder, what would you do if you were in that predicament? And the movie is called A Lonely Place to Die. I'm really screwing up with my glare here. A Lonely Place to Die. It's a cool little mystery, drama, action adventure. But I was intrigued by the opening where they find this hole in the ground, and that's all I'll say, and what they should do about it. That's very, 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 very vague. But give it a chance if you're looking for something to watch. Kind of avoid the trailers and stuff and just go into it like I did. You know, that's another thing that I think I mentioned in past videos. I love going into movies, not really knowing much about them, and then being so pleasantly surprised by the outcome that, wow, this was really an interesting movie. So I like this. I watched it once when I got it. I'll probably watch it again whenever I'm in the mood for it. But I'm just happy I got it in my collection because it is one of those kind of cool... I liked it. I liked it. That's all that matters. You got what you like. I got what I like. And we enjoy them together. Here's another one that a friend of mine told me to get, and I was not disappointed. A lot of little plot twists. A Perfect Getaway. Really, really cool little movie. That's all I'll say about it. Again, I'm glad I have it in my collection because every once in a while I want to see something like this storyline. And I like the people, Steven Zahn, and of course Mila. Anyway, let's move on. Yes. I'm being so... Let's move on. Okay. Oh, well. Here we go into some other stuff now. This movie I saw... I partaked in the download of it to see an uncut version. Why? Because there was a point in my life back in the early 80s that I was a gore hound. I was looking for anything that would shock or, Cannibal Holocaust or Cannibal Ferox or all the Herschel Gordon Lewis stuff, Blood Feast and 2000 Maniacs. And I don't know why I got onto that kick. I was always a horror fan, but I got onto the kick of getting into gore in the 80s. And that part of me is still in there. There's this curiosity, this slow down at the accident so you can see the blood, probably. I guess that's why people slow down at accidents, because why else would you want to stop and watch a crushed car? You're kind of looking for the carnage. Anyway, so I watched this movie, and yes, it's highly controversial. It's, I'm sure, well, the version I have here is the uncut version, but there is a cut version that's floating around. This is an import. I believe I got this from Germany. Anyway, it is a Serbian film. Everybody's heard about this. Well, most people have, and what it partakes. There's one major scene in here that everybody kind of brings up, and it's a very small scene which is cut out of the other version. But the whole movie is graphically just gross. There's some really sick whoever thought, and I visually it's artistic. It's very, very beautiful to look at. The music score is, again, really, really good. I enjoy it. I won't watch it all the time. This is like one of those movies like Requiem for a Dream or Cannibal Holocaust where maybe once a year, maybe once every 2 years I'll give it a look. But anyway, this comes with the 2-disc DVD and Blu-ray. And it's in a DVD case, so it's a little larger, unfortunately. But it is in English, well, it's with English subtitles, and the quality looks great. If you're a gorehound and you're looking for something pretty extreme and somewhat humorous, I mean, if some of the stuff is, I've heard a joke about what happens at the end of this movie to one character. With an eye socket, and we used to laugh at jokes like that. I'll keep an eye out for you. Anyway, you actually see things in here that are almost you're able to unsee. So anyway, watch at your own risk, but it's in my collection and I love it. Here's a guilty pleasure. This I never watched the television show. You could probably guess the way the A's are going if you're thinking ahead. I never watched a television series. I thought it was a joke. There's a big fan base out there, and I totally am fine. Everybody, that's the way I am. You like what you like, I like what I like. There's no reason to fight or anything. Excuse me. Anyway, I'm talking about the A-Team. I picked this up very cheaply. That's another thing people do on their videos, which I don't really understand because the videos will be there for years and it doesn't matter really what you paid for it. But anyway, a lot of movies I pick up on the cheap because I'm not rich. I have a big collection because I've been collecting for years. But I picked this one up on the cheap, and I was very surprised with it. There's some great action scenes in here. There's some fun humor in it. And like I said, I never watched the show. but I got a lot of the references because I knew of it, and it's a fun one to have in the collection. I enjoy it. Then this is the unrated extended cut, so there's more shooting and more blowing ups, I guess. And here's a childhood classic. I used to watch this on Creature Features here in Chicago. We had on Channel 9 WGN, we had a show called Creature Features, which across the country it was like Shock Theater or other things like that, Svengoolie. Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, and I got it with the slipcover, as people like to say, and it's one of these really cool Universal ones that came out that like an anniversary edition, and I love this movie. Abbott and Costello, Laurel and Hardy are my favorite all-time comics from the silent and the early soundies. Abbott and Costello comes up pretty close. It's a totally different humor, but this movie was great because I grew up watching the Universal monster movies, and what better to have a comedy with two of your favorite comedy guys battling the monsters, and just get it. It's a great fun movie. Next up we got a newer one. A lot of people have problems with this. I just like being a filmmaker and studying film. I like the idea of not so much an anthology, but the idea of the ABCs of Death, where you go and get 26 directors, and each one of them, you give them a letter and say, go out there and make a movie based on that letter, one word on that letter. And that's what they did. My favorite in here is, I believe it's called Dogfight. It's a beautiful, beautiful short, a bit violent, and just has a great kick-ass ending to the thing. There's some other really good ones in here. There's some really terrible ones in here. But that's the thing about these, you know, you got all these different little short films to watch. Some might be good, some might be bad. And I'm glad I got it in my collection. I'm going to keep saying that until I stop. And of course, I had to get the ABCs of Death 2 because it's another continuation. Not as good as the first one. They're, again, some are hit, some are miss. But it's something to have right next to ABC's 1. Next up. Oh, great movie. And it's still sealed. Adaptation. I actually thought Criterion would release this. Charlie Kaufman, man. And Nick Cage. Say what you want about Nick Cage, but great job in this as a dual role. I'm not going to go into this. If you haven't seen it, you must see it. This is like one of those must-see films. Just a great movie. It made me take notice whenever Charlie Kaufman, or even who did this? Spike Jonze into his work, and I keep watching, and geez, great movie. Just go see it or buy it. Put it in your collection. I haven't watched it yet because it's one of those movies where you just kind of be in the mood for it, and I haven't been in the mood for it since I bought it. It's a pretty recent buy, actually, which is probably why it's still cellophaned on it. My speaking is all weird. Adventures in Babysitting, one of my favorite 80s comedies. This is one of those all-night-long comedies, which I always like, something like After Hours or Adventures in Babysitting, movies that take place all in one day or one night, where hijinks happens. And this is great. Filmed in Chicago, which another bonus. And if you haven't seen it, see it. It's one of the better 80s movies. I saw this movie. People call these found footage movies, I guess because somebody found a videotape of it, of somebody recording, and now they're putting it out so you could buy. Afflicted. I was surprised by this one. I give it a chance. I heard some good things about it, and I loved it. I really liked this one. The shaky cam doesn't bother me. I thought it was not so much original, but an original way they did the story. It's there's some really great camera tricks that they did. One, in fact, involving a character jumping out of the window, and it's like the camera goes down and then it continues on with a chase. Also had a special thing because the lead character in here who's filming the guy him and his buddy when they go, the guy with the cameraman reminds me of my buddy Tadio Garcia, the director, who did On the Down Low with me. Anyway, cool movie, a cool little movie for like Halloween, or if you want a little scary thing. There's some creepy parts in this, but I just enjoyed the technique of what they did with it. And that's another thing just to mention is, like I said, I'm very easy with a lot of movies. I know what goes into making a movie and all that work and money that is spent on somebody trying to put their vision on the screen. True, it gets out of hand, and you got these $400 million mega movies that bomb. But I'm pretty forgiving. When I see a little movie like that, or recently I saw a movie called Crawl or Die, which was done for $8,000, I believe, $8 or $9,000, and I just what they did with it, and they were able to get their story across. And see, I'm easy with shoddy material or bad acting, or I can go along with it if I'm entertained. That's the main thing. Here's a movie I saw late night on cable one time. I kind of enjoyed it. It was visually cool. It was a cool little heisty film, and I found this in the bargain bin, and I picked it up. After the Sunset. It's a fun little thrill ride, and if you haven't seen it, see it. My recommendation. Oh, here's another. Oh, this is my. Gosh, I loved the editing of this thing. All that jazz. Criterion Collection. I love this movie. I saw this thing at the theater, and I went at least 3 more times to see it. I was just, and at the time when it came out, I was just still in college, and I was taking a screenplay writing, a creative writing class. I was taking a makeup for film class. I was taking a film class, and I was also taking a dance class. And so when this came out, it kind of resonated with me, of the competition and all that. But the whole Bob Fosse take on his own life, fictionally, and I just love this movie. I love the music. I'm so glad Criterion came out. It's loaded with tons of extras. That's another thing. I'm not going to read through any of these extras, because all you got to do is go online, look it up, and then there are other extras where you could read them yourself. So on to the next movie. That's a great movie. I love that. I think everybody has this set. Maybe not this set, but this anthology. It's the Alien anthology box set. The big one that comes out. This is the first one that opens up, and it has the disc here, so you can scratch it as you slide out. But they don't scratch. The Blu-rays are pretty strong. Now, if it was DVD, these things would be falling out. But I love the packaging on this is great. You get different versions of the extended versions of the first movie and the second movie. And the other ones are okay. I'm not going to go into reviews. I do like Alien 3 Director's Cut, even though it's not really a Director's Cut, because he kind of disowned the movie. But I do like it a lot better than Resurrection. Resurrection, geez, I really wish they went to Earth and started to take the movie that way and get the hell out of outer space. And Sigourney Weaver, as much as I love her, stop making these movies. And I guess she did. Anyway. And of course, one of the early buys, because there weren't a lot of Blu-rays out when I got this, and I just wanted to make my collection grow, and it was before the Alien movies came out. I had to get the AVP set, which is the double set with the 2 movies in here. Both movies pretty much suck. The first one with Lance Henriksen is kind of interesting, the way, but man, they're shot so poorly and quickly and cut and dark, and especially the second, you can't see what's going on. You want to see the alien attack and fight the predator, and you can't see anything. There's a couple moments that are like cool, but other than that, these, I haven't watched them since the first time I got it on Blu-ray. I just, have no reason to. When I want to watch Predator, I'll watch Predator. When I want to watch Alien, I'll watch Aliens. This is sitting there. In fact, there's some dust on here. But anyway, it's in the collection. Here's a favorite of mine from back in the day. I'm an old fart, 55 years old, and I remember seeing this movie for the first time. Airport, another one of the Universal, what do they call these? 100 Years of Universal Anniversary Edition. Slipcover, great movie. It actually inspired our next movie, the whole airplane disaster films that came out. I kind of wish the others would come out because I got a soft spot for Airport 77 with Heston hanging. I think that was the one where he's hanging from one plane to go into the cockpit or the hole of the cockpit. I just like them because they're cheesy. This one is more of a classic. I like it. I usually watch it in the wintertime because it takes place during a snowstorm, and it always gives me that chilly feeling, you know. And it's just a cool movie. It's a cool, classy, you know, movie. And I like it. And of course, it inspired the comedy of Airplane. Everybody should have this. They probably do have it in their collection. The Zucker brothers started this and became extremely famous, and they went on to make a whole slew of other movies. And wow, this is Jim Abrams. Yeah, that's right. Lots of great classic actors in here doing some funny stuff. You know this movie. I don't have to talk about it. And of course, with that movie, I had to have got Airplane 2, the sequel. Not as funny, but it does has the Shat doing some really funny stuff. That's William Shatner. And it's just a goofy movie. Whenever I want to laugh, it's one of those I throw on and I can do things around the house and just listen to it. This is a classic anime, Akira. Had to pick this up. I remember watching this back in the 80s on an old VHS tape and was just floored by the story, the visuals. I'm not a big anime fan. I have an issue with the animation. See, I was brought up watching like the Warner Brothers cartoons and the Disney cartoons, and the movement was so fluid. And I started watching some of the anime films that people were talking, and there's a jitteriness to it that actually went on through like the 80s cartoon shows in the Saturday mornings, like your Transformers and things like that. There's like there's not a fluidity of the animation in my eyes, and it kind of distracts me from the story then. This one, because it was the first I seen, it was you know, it was just amazing, and so I had to get it. This came out. It has 3 versions of the movie with the English dub and the original and different soundtracks and stuff. So if you haven't got it, get it, good. Get it, got it, good. Okay, this is the extended edition of this movie, which I do love. I think this is from Canada, or it might even be from England, but this is Almost Famous. I love this movie. Great music. Just brings me back to that time of growing up and reaching puberty and all that other fun stuff. And I wanted the extended. On DVD I think it was called the bootleg cut, and it was a box and it had the original and it had the extended. Or maybe I'm mistaken, maybe it just had the extended. But this thing I loved. I wanted the extended. I went searching and I found it. That was like when I got my PAL player, and I figured, oh, look at all these movies I can get that haven't been released in the U.S. I'm just going to go crazy. And, well, anyway, Almost Famous. See that movie. It's a great movie. Speaking of another great movie, one I wasn't going to pick up, but I ended up picking up because I do like the movie, Amadeus. Not the greatest transfer, but it's the Digibook version. And I like it. It's a cool classic movie. I remember working at Blackstone Theater in Chicago downtown, and I was working there, so I was able to see all the shows every night when I was working. They were there, or in the afternoon, and I saw them do Amadeus, and Mark Hamill, I keep looking there, I gotta look there. Mark Hamill played Mozart, and he was great, and actually that's where I got my autograph from him, because after one of the shows, I went to the back door when he came out, and I had my Star Wars poster, the original Style A sheet, and I said, "Can you please sign this, Luke?" I didn't call him Luke, but anyway, he signed it, and it was cool because there was a little group that got around, and they were getting autographs and talking to him, and they started asking him about the new Star Wars movie, which turned out to be Return of the Jedi. And the only thing I remember he says, "It's a lot of fun. I think people will like it." And that was really all he wanted to say about it. But anyway, that was when I met Mark Hamill. That was kind of fun. I also met David Bowie. He played the Elephant Man. Philip Englund, I can't think of what the character's name was. But David Bowie came to Chicago to do the show The Elephant Man, and that was great too. I and I got his autograph on a flyer. Anyway, American Graffiti. Love this movie. Great music. Great music. I wasn't born in this era, but I do remember hearing the music on the radio as a kid. And again, it was just a great ensemble of actors, new up-and-coming actors. Beautiful sound design, soundtrack, just cruising, you know, and growing up and making the decisions to go down what road. And yeah, it's a great movie. You've probably seen it. I love it. It's in my collection. I wish more American Graffiti would come out. I got the double of this and more on DVD. DVD's okay, but it could use a nice 1080p transfer, people. There are fans of the second one. Next up, we got a double bill. I actually like both these movies, and they never came down in price. At least I never seen them. And then all of a sudden they started doing these 2 movie collections on Blu-ray. And American History X and A History of Violence. 2 great movies. Cronenberg and I don't know who did Tony Kaye. Don't know him. Sorry. But anyway, pretty intense film. Ed Norton. That is Ed Norton, right? Jeez. Yes. Ed Norton. I'm old. You start losing it. And this one has a fantastic performance by William Hurt. He should have got, I think he got a nomination, but he should have got the Oscar for supporting actor. Anyway, I don't care about the Oscars. I used to be big in the Oscars. Now I could care less. It's all politics and bull crappy. But anyway, those are 2 good movies. That's a great double bill. Well, I'm throwing it. That's a great double bill, those 2 movies. That's a nice set. I don't think it's my first television series I bought. I didn't watch it on its first run, but I did then see it in a way, and I actually liked it. And then when the Blu-ray came out and the price came down a lot, I decided to buy American Horror Story Season 1. I have yet to buy any of the others. Not that I'm disappointed by them, because I thought there were moments in Asylum that were very good, and there were moments in, was it called Sideshow, the last season? But they kind of wandered away at the end of both of those seasons, and it's too bad. This one, it has a nice closure to it, I thought. So, American Horror Story, not a bad pick. Let's move that, because we're going to have to... You're going to wipe down the sweat from my drink. All right. What else do we got here? Oh, wow. I did buy this. Asylum. I forgot I had this. It's still sealed. Still sealed. See? It's protected for my protection. Anyway, yeah, it has a lot of moments. Very creepy. Both the American Horror Story is just a creepy-ass show. And I like it. Before Hannibal, it was like really a cool, scary thing to watch. Hannibal now, hands down, is a fantastic, brilliant. Can't say enough about it, unfortunately. NB FNC decided to cancel it, but I fear not, because I really think Netflix is going to pick it up, or Amazon, somebody like that, because they just can't let it die where it is. We got to come to some closure, and Mads Mikkelsen is outstanding. Anyway, I'm talking about American Horror Story Asylum. Has some moments, has not. I love the little fantasy dream dance scene that they do in one of the episodes. But that ending, what the hell was that? I mean, you got these storylines, and then an Alien and American Psycho. This is a great little film. I won't say much about it. You know it by, it's one of the old ones. He's been out a while. You could tell by the packaging. I don't think this was the original design, but I do like this. A lot of good performances. Funny, serious, not too scary. Murders and executions. Oh, mergers and acquisitions. Yeah, it's great. And of course, everybody's horror fan. Every horror fan has American Werewolf in London. Saw this thing many times at the theater. I was the only person that actually applauded after the werewolf transformation. I was jaw agape. My buddy and I, we were just like, and people started looking at us and that, and there were a few that started doing the clapping, because that this transformation scene. People say the one in The Howling and this. No, this. John Landis, the right humor, the right horror balance. Great film. Great film. Amityville Horror Collection. I actually got this because my main reason was the third one is actually in 3D for modern 3D televisions and stuff. But it comes with the... for God's sakes, get out! Get out! The first one, second one, third one in 3D. They're cool. I remember seeing Amityville, the first one, in the theater. And... yeah, it was all right. It wasn't scary. James Brolin had its moments, but I had read the book, and I was very disappointed because there were a lot of things in the book that weren't in the movie and didn't work the way they did in the book. The book was cool. I remember reading it one night in bed and just loving how on whenever each chapter started, there was a fly, and then there were two, and then there were three, and then the whole page was full of flies. I don't know if all the books were like that, but the one I had was like that. Ain't Man. Yes, Ain't Man. Hilarious movie. Will Ferrell, I'm not a big fan of. I think he goes very broad. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Here he was a little broad. He was broad, but he was toned down to be the newscaster. Almost kind of like a Ted Baxter. But just funny movie. Lots of great, funny people in this. This is the big set that has... oh yeah, this is the slipcover one. This has a slipcover, and then what comes in here? Oh, there's a 32-page diary in here, and there's a set of 12 trading cards which I never opened, and it has that extra movie on here, which I forgot what it's called, and I'm not going to read it. And you have to let you guys find out for yourself. But it's the one where they took all the additional extra footage and they made another like a pseudo sequel. But Anchorman, good movie. And then when it came on sale, I picked up Anchorman 2, and in an early little what am I watching, I didn't care for this one. It has moments. It has some moments, made me chuckle, made me laugh, but like I said, I think it was done a little too late. I think they waited too long, and the humor, I don't know, I didn't want to see these people anymore after knowing Steve Carell went off and did his thing, and there was other things. It wasn't a group of people I wanted to see back together again. This show, I stumbled across. Well, I'll just show it to you. An Idiot Abroad. This thing, Ricky Gervais produced. This is a import from England. It comes with season 1 and season 2 of An Idiot Abroad. And if you don't know about this show, get online and look at it. I equate it to, this is like a travel show where the host doesn't want to be where he's at. And of course, some people consider this pretty mean-spirited because Ricky Gervais is sending Carl Pilkington to these different great wonders of the world, like the Taj Mahal, and he just couldn't give a care, and he's more concerned about the garbage flying around the area, you know. Anyway, it's a hilarious show. It might not be your cup of tea, but I found it hilarious, and I had to get the Blu-ray, and the only way the Blu-ray was available was from England, so I got the import, season 1, 2, and then they did An Idiot Abroad 3, and they actually teamed him up with Warwick Davis, the little person who was Willow. And again, it's just hilarious stuff. It's a droll British, but it's real because it's a documentary crew following around, and he's not acting; he's just saying what he feels, and there's some really funny stuff on there. Speaking of movies, you're not going to watch, or I'm not going to watch all the time, a lot, but I got it because I did love the photography on it. I like the story. I mean, it's interesting. It's pretty horrifying. And it's Criterion, so I picked up Antichrist. I started looking at his other films, Lars von Trier, and this is probably the only one I really like of his. And if you can call that like. But there's some great performances in here. Just great performances. I'm glad Criterion had the cojones to put it out for us that want it in our collection. And this is like a, probably a lot of people bash this because it's an Oliver Stone movie. And it is kind of a mess, but I love the editing. I love the way it's put together. Its style, its quickness. Any Given Sunday. I'm not a sports fan. I really don't. I have very few movies that deal with sports, and this is one of them. And I just enjoy watching this. This is like eye candy to me. I could care less what's going on in the storyline. I'm just watching the performances and watching the flashy editing, and and I laughed my ass off when the guy's eye came out. That's all I'll say about that. But I enjoyed that. I think that's the this is the director's cut, which is the one you want to get. And now we're talking a classic. This is something everybody should have. I was very, speaking of price, even though I wasn't going to, I was very happy that I got this at the price I got it. I think I got it for $19.99. It was it was either a Black Friday or one of those electronic Monday deals. I picked up the Apocalypse Now. This is the big one with the, I'm not going to, well, I'll open it up. Comes with this nice, cool book. And some great artwork on the spine here. Opens up. Got all the discs. And the main reason I really wanted this is because it has Hearts of Darkness. Excuse me. The documentary that Coppola's wife shot while they were trying to make and complete Apocalypse Now. Oh, excuse me. Getting the burp attack. Anyway, this is great. It's a phenomenal transfer. If you got a kick-ass sound system, surround system, man, that battle scene near the beginning is outstanding. But anyway, definitely worth one for the collection. Pretty epic. Say what you will about Mel Gibson, but he makes hell of a great movies. Apocalypto. Love this movie. Love the soundtrack. I got nothing much to say about it. If you haven't seen it, see it if you're looking for a good adventure story. But be warned, it is in its original native language, like he did Passion of the Christ. So you will have to read subtitles. Boo-hoo, those that don't like subtitles. I almost had an argument with my buddy today on the phone because he was talking about, he just got the new Happiness of the Katakaris. I think that's Takeshi Mike. Might not be, but it's kind of a musical comedy type horror story. Japan, and I joked with him. I says, he's like, I haven't looked at it. I started watching it, but I didn't finish it. And I says, is that because it's not the English dub? And he's like, I just don't like reading. All right, say what you will. Guilty pleasure, although I really do love this movie. I do. I love this movie. People hate it. People hate it. But I'm the kind of person that can take my brain, put it at the side of the door, sit back with a big bowl of popcorn and watch this and be totally entertained. Armageddon. Yeah, say what you will. Armageddon. Garbage, Michael Bay crap. The movie's too long, doesn't make sense, it's stupid, it's all inaccurate. I love this thing, and it kicks ass on the sound system. Alright. Guilty pleasure. I saw this real cheap. $4.99, $2.99, whatever it was. I saw this movie back in the 80s, big John Candy fan. And at the time, I was starting to be a security guard, so this kind of fit in to a nice little comedy thing. Armed and Dangerous. Funny little movie, him and Eugene Levy. And what's her name? Meg Ryan. Yeah, when she was pretty. Sorry. But I enjoy this. It's like a guilty pleasure. Another one of those movies like Airplane where I can put it on, go do some house chores and listen to it. We're getting close to the end. Thank God. How long has this been going? I don't know. I don't care. Artificial intelligence. AI with the slipcover. Yes. Spielberg. Watch this movie when he's underwater and he sees the angel turn it off. Don't even watch. Wait a minute. Is that the ending? Oh my God. Yeah, because he's sitting on the top of the building and then he goes in. The whole ending tagged on with the he's okay and you can sleep with mom. Spielberg sugarcoating everything, just like War of the Worlds, which was kick-ass except for a few moments, and then he sugarcoats the ending. Everybody's happy and the kid's still alive, even though he went over the mountain and it blew up. Anyway, visually fantastic. Love the look of this thing. It's got lots of great moments in it. But yeah, I have a little issue with the ending. It is still sealed. I haven't watched it since I got it, but I got it at a good price. I said I wasn't going to talk about prices, but I am. I got it at a good price. All right. This is not the Scream Factory or Shout Factory version that came out recently, because I wanted it when I saw it, and I went out and got it, and I don't feel like replacing it because I'm very happy with this and the transfer. John Carpenter's Assault on Precinct 13. Great-ass siege movie. I remember, again, VHS, Halloween, The Fog. Oh my God, The Thing on VHS tape. You just wore the tape out watching all Carpenter stuff. And his music is it's great. I don't know, this is the restored collector's edition. Like I said, it's got lots of cool extras on it. And I really didn't look in the Shout Factory, and like I said, I'm not a completist where if they have a little more extras than this. I'm more interested in the movie. I like extras, but I want the movie. And like I said, I bought this, I watched it, I thought the quality was decent. And I have it. I haven't upgraded yet. Why buy something again? I won't even say that because I can go in. And then one winter night, I was all alone, and I switched on TV, cable, and the remake of Assault on Precinct 13. Do I really want to watch this? I did. And for what it was, I enjoyed it. So when I found it real cheap, I picked it up. Yeah, it's nowhere near as good as the original, but it does have its moments. What can I say? It's one of those, see, I'm kind of a weird theme type viewer. This is it takes place in the winter, and there's some nice wintry, snowy scenes. I usually pop this in the wintertime to get that cold feeling. There's movies like this and Runaway Train and The Thing that all take place in the cold environment, and that always kind of makes me want to watch it around the winter. All right, we're getting down to the end, folks. This is a great movie. It came out of nowhere, and it made a lot of people happy. Attack the Block. Just a great monster movie. Great design for a monster. There's some great scenes of them just charging down a hall and their glowing teeth, and it's just a cool movie. If you haven't seen Attack the Block, see it. I definitely recommend it. And the last of my A's, if that wasn't enough, this is this at the time when I saw these movies, when these came out, other than the third one, I loved them. I loved them, loved them, loved them. Why do I say that 3 times? That sounds like I love them, love them, love them. Anyway, yeah, baby. That's like Thurston Howell trying to do Austin Powers. Yeah, baby. Love you there. Get me my. Anyway, yeah. This is the collection pack that has. It has all 3 movies in there. Spy Who Shagged Me, Gold Member, and I haven't watched them in a while. Actually, I watched the first one kind of recently this year, and it still made me laugh. It's not as it's like a comedy of its time. When it came out, it was the perfect time, and the spoof of the '60s spy thrillers and Bond films and that. So it kind of it was the Get Smart of its time. Although Get Smart was right in the heart of the Bond phenomena. But I enjoy it. A Fat Bastard. I mean, there's so many different funny things about these movies, and I still like them. I got this under $15, I think, and it comes with all 3 movies, loaded with extras. I was happy the second one had the pseudo trailer with all the little people reenacting the first movie's opening credits. That thing cracked me up like crazy, and it's on here. And I gotta mention that I'm really. It's funny about collectors, you know, it really is, and dealers. When Goldmember came out, there was a big stink, I guess, from the Bond, Cubby Broccoli, or well, the people that made the Bond films, Goldfinger and mainly, that they weren't supposed to use that name. They didn't get the rights to use Goldmember as a parody of Goldfinger. And by that time, the posters were already printed out, and I just took a chance and went to eBay, and people were selling those things for like hundreds and hundreds of dollars because they were rare. They were pulled from the market. You weren't ever. They were going to change the name from Goldmember to something else, and I just think of the people, the poor people who spent hundreds of dollars to get a Goldmember one sheet, thinking it was going to be rare that they'll put away and then they could sell in the future. And then they said, oh, you could use the name, keep the posters, do what you want. Then the next day, after that announcement, I went to I went to eBay, and they were like $5, $10. What were those collectors thinking after they bought that and then realized that it was worth nothing? Those dealers were very happy. Got Dr. Evil on the back. Yes. Anyway, folks, that's my A's. I have quite a few more B's. And that might take a little longer, or I might split the video up. But anyway, that's some of my collection. This is how the rest of these videos are going to go. I'm going to try to go through everything and then maybe go into the DVDs, what little DVDs I do have left. I'll probably do a video on that because it isn't many. And I hope you enjoy this. Those people out there that show off their collection, I hope you decide to watch this and compare it to your collection, whatever people do when they do this. But like I said, I've watched quite a few of those videos on YouTube. And again, like me, a lot of people have the same movies, and we're all just showing the same stuff we have. But it is good. I mean, if you're a collector, I've been a collector all my life, and movie posters, lobby cards. I couldn't afford props or anything, but I always had money for movies. You know, if I could just take a couple hours in a dark room and watch a movie, I was happy. And what better thing for VHS to start the ball rolling? I was one of those people. When they first started coming out, I bought Planet of the Apes. It was $80 on VHS, and it was pan and scan, the original Planet of the Apes. And then I bought a Halloween. Yeah, I was right there, right at the beginning. I don't even remember having. Well, no, that's another story. That was something else. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, I'm done. This is enough, guys. I hope you enjoyed my collection of A movies. We're going to move into the B movies in the next video. I don't know when that will be, and then I'll probably have some more what's in the box, and I'll just try to keep my channel growing. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you click on the subscribe button if you just wandered here and don't know me. This way you can keep track of whenever I post a new video. Hit the like button. It's funny, I put voted videos up there and there's quite a few views, and then there's like one like. It's like, if you're watching it, at least like it. At least put it doesn't cost you nothing. Hit the button. Give me some likes. I'm new. I'm starting out. There's people with thousands of subscribers, and I only have 75. Anyway, I've talked enough. Guys, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next video. All right? Toodles. Toodles. Mm-mm-mm.